Thank you, brothers and sisters. We want to thank you for coming out today, and thank you to God Collective for having us here once again for this event. Let's give the brothers and sisters with God Collective a big round of applause. We've been back here many times, and we appreciate the support of the Toronto African community. To give you some background on what you're going to see today, it's based on our travels and research in Ethiopia. As my husband Ashra spoke earlier, we travel there every year conducting a winter pilgrimage back home. And so that's how we base this presentation. The portion that I'm going to deal with is on 19th and 20th century in Ethiopia. It was Ras Makonnen Wode Michael, who was governor of Harar. He was also the foreign minister and cousin of Emperor Minilik II, and later father of Emperor Haile Selassie. Here's his palace in Harar. Now, as the foreign minister, he negotiated a treaty with the Italians, and this was the Treaty of Wuchale. And on Article 17 of the treaty, there were two versions. One was in Amharic, which was spoken in Ethiopian, and the other one was in Italian. Well, Minilik refused to sign the version in Italian because he didn't understand Italian, and that proved to be a very wise move, because the Ethiopian copy said Ethiopia could communicate with foreign nations through the Italian Foreign Office, but the Italian copy said that Ethiopia would conduct its foreign negotiations through Italians. In other words, making Ethiopia a colony of Italy. And so Empress Taitu and Emperor Minilik were not going for that. And Empress Taitu in particular was a very strong nationalist. So she berated the Count Antonelli when he came before them and said that the Italians would not forget that treaty. And so Minilik realized that it was going to be war. And so he summoned his people together. And he said, did they want to submit to the white man who had seized and enslaved all the rest of Africa? He said, whatever be our differences, we can never permit our country, which has maintained its freedom for 70 centuries, to be ruled by an outsider. He said, you have seen what the white man has done to the rest of Africa. Do you, a proud fighting race, want to be enslaved like the other inhabitants of the continent? He said, Ethiopia has never been conquered, and she shall never be as long as she preserves her indomitable spirit. Ethiopia shall stretch out her hand only to God and to smite her enemies. In 1889, in the meantime, the Italians had brought cattle to Ethiopia that were infected with rinderpest disease. This caused a famine throughout Ethiopia. But Minilik, good emperor that he was, suspended the debts and taxes. So he became known as the loving mother figure, Minilik. And because of this action of suspending all the debts and taxes, there was a lot of national unity. So when Minilik made the call, Ethiopians from all over came to fight against the Italians. And all of them pledged their allegiance. Even his main foe, Ras Mangasha, who was Johannes' son, he told Minilik, he said, I will drive the Italians out with the very bullets that they gave me to kill you. That's what we're talking about, African unity here. The Archbishop